Welcome back, folks. Professor Almeida here, and in this video, I'm going to walk you through the Word Module 3 project in COSA 50. Coming up, you're going to learn how to create a business letter, and some of the features and techniques you're going to see can be applied to other Microsoft 365 apps, such as PowerPoint and Excel. Hopefully by now you know how all of this works, so without further ado, let's go ahead and take a look. Now, I've already downloaded all the files that I will need for this project. And here's MindTap. Just as a friendly reminder, you do have access to the full ebook. Hopefully you've had a chance to preview Word Module 3. Again, this is on creating a business letter. Here are the objectives for chapter 3, and by the end of this chapter, you should be able to master these concepts. Again, some of the things you're going to see in this chapter, you can take with you to other Microsoft 365 apps. For example, working with Smart Art graphics, using the format painter, and whatnot. Here's Word 3 project. You do have a direct link in Canvas. Now, I've been playing around with this project. I'm in God mode here, but remember that you do get 3 attempts. You need to grab the instruction file, your start file, and this letterhead support file. And at this point, we're ready to begin. So I'm going to pause this video to give you a chance to get settled in, and I will see you on the other side. All right, let's go ahead and begin. Now, as you can see, I already have my start file ready to go. It has a 2 at the end. I'll go ahead and click Enable Editing. Let's switch over to the instructions and begin. Project steps. Step 1. As an assistant in the St. Paul Parks and Recreation Department, you are drafting a cover letter and information sheet about the St. Paul Summer Games for the City Events Director, Camilla Moreno. Insert the missing letterhead picture for the cover letter as follows. So I do need to open up my support file here. And let's switch back to the instructions. Part A, copy the letterhead picture from the document support _ WD365 _ 3A _ letterhead.docx. In other words, this support file. So here's the letterhead. I'm going to click directly on the object here. So you should see this border. And to copy, it's Control C, or go to the Home tab, Clipboard Group, and click Copy. Part B, paste the picture in the first blank paragraph at the top of the letter while keeping source formatting to preserve the original design of the letterhead. So let's go to the start file here. Here is that blank paragraph at the top. Now there's 2 ways to do this. You can right click, paste options, and you'll see keep source formatting. Now keep in mind, because they did ask us to keep the source formatting, you cannot just use Control V or clicking on paste in the Home tab Clipboard Group. You actually need to go to the drop down and choose keep source formatting. And at this point, I can go ahead and close my support file. And that takes care of step 1. Step 2, in the blank paragraph below the letterhead picture, insert the date May 15th, 2029. So here's the blank paragraph below the letterhead. And we'll type in May 15th, 2029. I know we're far off into the future here. On page 2, format the picture of the Summer Games logo to correct its placement. So let's go to page 2. And by the way, you can also click on page 1 of 4 in the status bar and then just go straight to page 2 in the navigation pane. You can do that too. Notice that the logo is backwards and we need to fix this. So we begin by clicking on the logo. Notice the picture format tab. And let's go ahead and finish step 3 here. Part A, flip the picture so that the logo's horizontal orientation is correct and matches the logo in the letterhead. To make this adjustment, go into the Arrange group, again, picture format, Arrange group. You'll see Rotate Objects and we'll choose Flip Horizontal. Now, if you want to convince yourself You can go back to page 1. There's the logo. And then in part B, change the position of the picture to position in top right with square text wrapping. Remember that command, position in top right with square text wrapping. Back to the arrange group, if you go to position with text wrapping, there it is, position in top right with square text wrapping. Be sure to save, or you can turn on autosave if you want to save your project to OneDrive. And with that, we are done with step 3. How are we doing, folks? If you need a break, you always have that pause button. Okay, continuing on. Step 4. Apply the title style to the heading paragraph Summer Games. Let's make sure we're all tabbing to the right place here. All right, there's the paragraph Summer Games. Hopefully you remember from last time when we modified the normal style. The normal style is the default style in Word, but this time we're being asked to select the title style. 2 ways to do this. You can see styles here in the mini toolbar. Of course, you could go to the Home tab Styles group and click the drop down. Either way, you want the title style. And that takes care of step 4. Step 5, use the format painter to copy the formatting from the paragraph City of St. Paul to the paragraph beginning with June 15 to 17, 2029 to draw attention to the dates. Now, I will have to admit here, this isn't my first time recording this walkthrough. When I recorded the walkthrough previously, I misread this step, and of course I was marked wrong. That's why you probably noticed the multiple attempts, and these things do happen, so you have to be very careful in reading the instructions, because it can even happen to me. I'm not some god sitting here. I'm human too. So again, make sure you read the instructions carefully. Let's review one more time. They're asking us to copy the formatting from City of St. Paul here, and we are applying this formatting to the paragraph beginning with June 15 to 17, 2029. Okay, so what they're talking about is this entire paragraph. It's going to have the same formatting as the City of St. Paul. Now, to copy the formatting, and you'll see that it's Century Gothic body, it's size 11, there's a font color. If we want to copy this formatting to other places, we use what's called the format painter. You're going to see this again in other Microsoft 365 apps such as PowerPoint and Excel. Now in Excel, it's a little bit different, but in PowerPoint, it's pretty much the same idea. So I'm going to go ahead and select the City of St. Paul paragraph. And if you go into the Home tab clipboard group, you'll see Format Painter. And you'll notice the keyboard shortcuts, Alt-Control-C and Alt-Control-V. Now, you'll also notice in the tooltip that if you want to apply formatting to multiple places, you'll double-click on the Format Painter. By double-clicking, it's like an on-off switch. And then when you're done copying the formatting, you can click on Format Painter to turn it off or use the Escape key. But we only need to copy formatting once, so I'm going to go ahead and click on the Format Painter once. And we're going to apply the formatting to the entire paragraph here, starting with June 15th to 17th. Okay, you're not just formatting the date, it's the entire paragraph. The easiest way to do this is just to use the selection area to the left of the margin, and I will select the entire line, June 15th to 17th, 2029, St. Paul, Minnesota. Boom, there you go. So again, be sure to carefully read the instructions and don't miss something important like I did when I tried to record this earlier. All right, how are we doing, folks? If you need a break, you do have that pause button, and we'll go ahead and continue. Step 6, change the font size of the paragraph about the summer games to 14 point to match the font size of other headings. Okay, easy enough. Whoops, let's make sure we're in the right place here. All right, about the summer games, again, we're going to set that font size to 14, home tab font group, or use the mini toolbar, whatever works for you. You can also right click, by the way, and use the mini toolbar there. Step 7, clear the formatting from the paragraph. The St. Paul Summer Games, all welcome to participate to remove the distracting formats. So they're talking about this paragraph here. Again, I'm going to go to the selection area to the left and double click to select, whoops, that's select all. I want to double click to select the paragraph. To remove the formatting, home tab font group, you're going to see clear all formatting. And there you go. Step 8, format the picture of the medal winners as follows to improve the clarity of the picture and make it more striking on the page. So they're talking about this image here. We're going to select the image and you'll see the picture format tab. Part A, apply the brightness plus 20%, contrast minus 20% correction. If you look in the picture format tab, adjust group, you'll see corrections, and then there's brightness contrast. We are looking for brightness plus 20, right? Brightness plus 20, contrast minus 20. So here's brightness plus 20, and we have contrast minus 20. Again, double check. Part B, resize the picture to 96% of its height and width. Now, back in Module 1, you learned how to adjust the size in inches, but what if it's by percentage? We have the dialog box launcher in the size group. It's called Advanced Layout Size. And you'll see under scale, height, we're going to change this to 96%. And by the way, you can type in 96% or use the up and down arrows as needed. And you'll also notice that width has also changed to 96%. Let's go ahead and click OK. And then finally in part C, add a picture border using dark gray text 2, fourth column, first row in the theme colors palette. If you look in the picture styles group, picture border, and it's going to be dark gray text 2. And there you go. That completes step 8. Step 9. Step 9, on page 3, add smart art as follows in the blank paragraph before the event schedule heading to describe the 4 types of partners and sponsors. By the way, what you're going to see here with smart art graphics, you can do the same in other Microsoft 365 apps. So let's go to page 3. And in the blank paragraph before event schedule and after about the partners and sponsors, insert a basic block list smart art from the list section of the smart art gallery. If we go into the Insert tab illustrations group, you're going to see smart art, and we'll go to the list category, and it's the first item, basic block list. Click OK. So here's your smart art. Notice the smart art design and format tabs. Delete the first shape on the upper left to leave 4 shapes. So I have that first shape selected. Hit the delete key on your keyboard, and now you're left with 4 shapes. Part C, type coaches in the upper left shape. So with the upper left shape selected, I can start typing coaches. Notice what happens. The text size adjusts automatically between all 4 shapes. Okay, let's keep going here. In the upper right, part D, it'll be medical. So we'll type medical, medical. And then in the bottom left shape, businesses. Again, watch what happens. See how all 4 adjusted at the same time. And then finally, lower right shape, tourism. Step 10, format the smart art as follows to make it more attractive. Change the colors to colored fill accent 6 and change the smart art style to moderate effect. Let's back up for a second here. Let's make sure that only the smart art graphic as a whole is selected. So you should just have one border here. And you'll notice the smart art design tab, smart art styles. Let's change colors. And if you look at the instructions, colored fill accent 6, you'll notice the categories. There's accent 6. Now we just need to find colored fill accent 6. And there you go. Use the tooltip. Change the smart art style to moderate effect. So if you look at the smart art style gallery and use the tooltips, there's moderate effect. But if you want, you can click on the quick styles drop down. This is formerly called the more button, and you can see all of your options. But again, you're looking for moderate effect under best match for document. And that takes care of step 10. We can click off of the smart art graphic. All right, how are we doing, folks? If you need a break, use the pause button. Otherwise, we're just going to keep right on going. And again, remember, the smart art graphic techniques you just saw, that also works for PowerPoint, as you will see later on. See you on the other side. All right, ready to continue? Let's keep going. Step 11, set a tab stop at 5 inches with the right alignment for the paragraph Day 1 Friday, June 15th to match the formatting of the event schedule lines for Day 2 and Day 3. Let's take a look here. So there's Day 2. We want Day 1, Friday, June 15th, to look like this line here with Day 2. So I'm going to place my insertion point before Day 1. And to set tab stops, we go to the Home tab paragraph group, click on the dialog box launcher called Paragraph Settings. Here's the paragraph dialog box. Go down to the bottom left, choose tabs. Tab stop position is going to be 5 inches. The alignment is going to be right. And as far as the leader is concerned, we don't have a leader for this one. In the past, we used to have a leader line with these projects, but this time around there's no leader. When you're ready, click set and then click OK. And now you can see Day 1 and Day 2 both match. Step 12, complete the table for Day 1 by adding another event as follows. Part A, insert a row at the end of the table. So here's the table. I'm going to click into the last cell. Notice the table design and table layout tabs. Let's go to table layout because we do need to insert a row at the end of the table as seen in 12A. If you go to the rows and columns group, you'll see insert row below. And now in part B, we can enter the data shown in figure 1. So in the first cell, we're typing volleyball. I will hit tab, and for the location, it's TCA. And that takes care of step 12. Moving right along, step 13, let's go to page 4. So scroll on down to page 4 under Day 3 here. Insert a table as follows to list the events and locations in the blank paragraph after the Day 3, Sunday, June 17th paragraph. Part A, insert a table with 2 columns and 4 rows. Now, 2 ways to do this. If you go to the Insert tab, Tables group, click on Table, you can draw this out, right? Or you could go to Insert Table and indicate the number of columns and rows. So we'll go ahead and draw this out. It's a 2x4 table. Add text to the table as shown in figure 2. That's part B. So here's figure 2. We'll start in the first cell with event. I'll hit tab and then we'll type location, hit tab again, and then we'll continue with fun run. Now at this point, in the interest of time, I'm going to go ahead and pause the video so that you have a chance to type all the information in, and when we come back on the other side, I will show you what your table should look like. All right, how are we doing, folks? So this is what you should have, right? This is what you should have here. And let me click back into the table. And let's look at part C here, step 13. Apply the grid table 4 accent 6 table style to the table. Go into the table design tab, table styles. Click on table styles, formerly called the more button. Under grid tables, we know it's grid table 4, so it's the 4th row, and there's accent 6 at the end. Change the width of the second column to 2 inches to match the widths of the other tables. So let's make sure our insertion point is in the second column. Switch over to the table layout tab, cell size group. There's table column width, and then we'll change this to 2 inches. And at this point, let's make sure to save. Step 14. Format the smartphone picture in the Summer Games app section as follows. So here's Summer Games app. Let's click on the smartphone image and go to the picture format tab. Part A, change the text wrapping of the picture to tight. Now, if you'll notice, there is a button next to the image. It's called Layout Options. And you'll see under with text wrapping, you can choose tight. You can also go into the Arrange group here in picture format, wrap text, choose tight. Notice how tight is selected here under Layout Options. So that is part A. Part B, recolor the picture to use red accent color 6 light. Go to the Adjust group, Color. Under Recolor, here's red accent color 6 light. Step 15, add a border to the heading paragraph. Frequently asked questions as follows to separate the section from the rest of the document. Okay, before we continue, let me show you real quick here. So here's the paragraph, frequently asked questions, but we also want to take a look at the final figure, and you should be doing this from time to time to see how you are doing with this project. So this is what we're looking for here. Okay, and the reason why I'm showing you this is because step 15 is a little tricky. In part A, they're asking you to apply a top border to the paragraph, and you'll see what I mean in a moment here. To add the top border, make sure frequently asked questions is selected. This is your paragraph. Go to the Home tab, Paragraph group. Here's borders. Let's click top border. But then when we get to part B, change the line style of the border to dotted, hint, second option in the style list. So what we need to do here is go to Borders and Shading. And this brings up Borders and Shading. So it's the second option in the style list. The color is dark teal, accent 1, darker 25%. Now they do give you the hint, but hopefully you remember what I told you as far as the pattern goes with colors. So let's take a look here. You just need to look for dark teal accent 1 and then go down the column. Remember, it's lighter 80%, lighter 60, lighter 40. Here's darker 25%. And then of course that last option is darker 50%. The width is going to be 2¼ point. So we'll change the width to 2¼ point. Now, how do we get this top border? Because we already have a top border from part A. We need to get rid of it in the preview. So I'm going to click on the top border button. That gets rid of the border. And now I'll click the top border button again. And there's the border we're looking for. Go ahead and click OK, and you can see how the border has changed. So be careful with this step. Make a note that part A, you can apply that top border, but you're going to have to change it anyway. All right, moving right along. Step 16, format the registration shape in the frequently asked questions section as follows to apply a design similar to the Summer Games shape. So here's the registration shape. And notice how I selected it with the 4-headed arrow. In part A, change the shape style to colored fill, dark teal, accent 1, no outline. Say that fast 5 times. Someone up at Microsoft was paid handsomely to come up with this name. So we know it's a shape style. Go to the shape format tab, and hopefully by now you're starting to figure out the patterns here. Okay, the group placement in shape format is very similar to picture format, and hopefully you start to pick up on patterns. Here's the shape styles group. Click on the button formerly called More. It's now called Quick Styles. And if you thought this was it, colored fill, dark teal, accent 1, nope, keep looking. Under presets, there's colored fill, dark teal, accent 1, no outline. Apply the offset top left shape effect from the outer section of the shadow gallery. So you know it's a shape effect and it's the shadow gallery. We're looking for offset top left. So here's shape effects, here's shadow, there's outer, and if you search long enough, there's offset top left. And that takes care of step 16. And moving right along to step 17, insert a shape as follows to complete the categories of information available at the St. Paul Summer Games website. Part A, insert a rectangle rounded corners to the right of the registration shape. Ignore the back hint because you should be doing this on a Windows PC anyway. So we need to insert a shape, and we do that by going to the Insert tab, Illustrations group, Shapes, Rectangles. There's rectangle rounded corners, and then you'll see this crosshair. Click to the right of registration. Don't worry about the shape at the moment because we're going to eventually fix it. Part B, add the text tickets and refunds to the new shape. Tickets and refunds. Part C, resize the shape to a height of 0.6 inches and a width of 1.2 inches. Go to the size group. Again, this is very similar to the picture format tab. So 0.6 and 1.2 inches respectively. Part D, position the shape using an absolute horizontal position of 2.9 to the right of the column and an absolute vertical position of 0.03 below the paragraph. So what are they talking about here? If you go into the Arrange group, position, more layout options, hopefully this makes sense now once you see the layout dialog box. In the horizontal category, absolute position is going to be 2.9 to the right of column. So let's change this to 2.9 inches. And as you can see, to the right of column. And then it's 0.03 below the paragraph. So in vertical, absolute position, 0.03 inches below paragraph. Let me double check that. 0.03. There you go. Go ahead, click OK. Use the format painter to apply the formatting of the Summer Games shape to the new tickets and refunds shape. So watch how I select Summer Games. I use the four-headed arrow. Now, you've already seen the format painter used to copy text formatting. You could do the same with shapes. Check this out. Go to the Home tab, Clipboard group, click on Format Painter once, and then click on the Tickets and Refunds shape, and there you go. Click off of the shape when you're done. And then finally, step 18, check the spelling and grammar in the document to identify and correct any spelling errors. Hint, ignore names. Let's Control Home back to the top of the document. To check spelling, go to the Review tab, Proofing group. Spelling and grammar and editor are the same. So if you're not convinced, watch what happens when I click spelling and grammar. That brings up editor, and you'll see that there is a misspelling for competitor. So under consider, we'll click competitor. And now it's offering grammatical corrections. Let's check the final figure because Microsoft Editor is going to suggest all sorts of things. So under About the Partners and Sponsors, let's look at the final figure here. About the Partners and Sponsors, this is what you should have. Minnesota Coaches Associations. Okay, so what they're suggesting here, leave alone. So editor gives you a score of 88%. You know what? Let's ignore it because editor's going to suggest all sorts of things, and we need the deliverable to match up. And that's it for step 18. And we're also done with this project. Your document should look like the final figure on the following pages. Save your changes, close the document, and then exit Word. Follow the directions on the website to submit your completed project. Let's go ahead and save. If you have autosave turned on, make sure you close completely out of Word. And at this point, we can return to MindTap. We're already here, but if not, just click on Word 3 Project. Again, you have that direct link in Canvas. And let's go ahead and submit the project here. Now you do get 3 attempts. I've been playing around with this project, so ignore the fact that it says attempt number 4. And let's see the results here. All right, 100 out of 100. So as before, if you did not get 100 the first time, go through, see what you missed, make the corrections by reopening your project file. Again, it's your project file, not the report that you want to look at. And at this point, we are done. Thanks for watching. Good luck with your Word 3 project. Again, I hope that you learn the skills here because you can take them with you when we get to PowerPoint. All right, take care, folks. Thanks for watching.